This video is about use of 12-volt batteries on kayak and general electrical wiring, making your own trolling motor that fits into a Mirage drive, which is proprietary opening that hobbies use in their kayaks. You can see it right here. That's the Mirage drive opening. So the state of the art in batteries nowadays is so-called lithium ion batteries or lithium iron. This particular one is lithium iron battery. They're readily available on eBay. These were used in medical carts, and I guess because of regulations they are now selling them, but reality is these are vastly superior to regular lead acid batteries and have practically unlimited lifespan. This one can be charged probably 5,000 times. This particular one is 40 amp hour capacity. It weighs probably to the tune of maybe 8-9 pounds. Fits perfectly well inside of this opening on hobby kayaks. So you can have it right there, completely out of the way. You can score these batteries for maybe $140 on eBay, and like I said, this is a great deal compared to lead acid. This practically lasts forever. For a little more money, maybe toward $200, you can also get it with the charger. This is what the charger looks like. Now, electrical wiring in the marine environment is a whole art form. Basically, electricity and salt water, they don't really mix well. In this particular case, you can see that inside of the kayak, I have a wiring that uses this RC connector. I think this one is rated to 100 amps. This particular one is a male. I also have installed in line with the wire. You can see it in there. This is a 40 amp auto reset automotive breaker. This is 12 gauge marine wire, meaning that it's completely tinned, so it's not gonna rust away on you. So this connects to the battery. I'm going to talk about it in a second. On the other end of it, what you have is the MinnKota 12-volt connector. It looks like this. Okay, I think you can see it now. There's a little flap that closes it from the water. So this is the female portion, and the male portion, that's the connector, looks like this. The entire set is available on Amazon for $30. Do not try to buy anything else. These are the only connectors that are known to last in the marine environment. And even these, if salt water hits them when they have voltage on them, will develop rust. So probably makes sense to replace them every 3 years or so. So again, this is the male connector. It's RC, it's gold plated, it's extremely high current connector, 12-volt marine wire, also readily available on Amazon. Goes to MinnKota connector right here that has a waterproofing flap here, so the water doesn't get in. You can probably see it a little bit there now. And that's the male connector right here. Now, traditionally the battery would be used to power your fish finders right here. Hobbies are wired or made from the factory to take Lowrance transducers. So under the boat, actually below this area on the other side, is a cavity that has a shield that is a perfect fit for the Lowrance transducer. So all you have is a wire that goes in there like so, and it goes underneath the boat into the cavity. That's where you mount the transducer. This particular Chorp fish finder is maybe $150, $170 on Amazon. There's also a variety of this available with GPS. So that's your fish finder. You can see some wiring coming through here. So one of this carries the signal from transducer, and the other one just carries straight up voltage from the battery. You can see the stock mount. Actually, this is a swivel mount for the Lowrance that I have installed, but the stock mount is perfectly fine. Don't really have to spend money on the swivel. The stock works perfectly fine. Now let's talk about trolling motor. Like I said, hobbies are unique in terms that they have this opening on their kayaks for the Mirage drive, and in reality there's also a trolling motor out there that fits perfectly fine right through that opening. It costs about $120. It's right here. You can see it's a Watersnake. The motor requires a little modification to make it fit into the Mirage drive. Mainly boils down to cutting this rough outline of the Mirage drive opening out of 2x4s, putting this little pin in there. The pin goes into these latches on the sides, So it mounts completely nice and secure in there. It doesn't want to go anywhere. This way you have a trolling motor that weighs nothing, costs nothing, very reliable, and the wiring is as follows, right? I have this control unit. Inside, what I have is a MinnKota rotary switch that controls the trolling motors. It's completely sealed against the environment. It's rated for high current. And in this particular case, by twisting the knob, you can go forward, reverse. In forward, you have two different speeds available to you. So it's really nice and handy. You can also see the motor. On top of the 2x4s, I have a little handle mounted. It's a galvanized handle from Home Depot. So it's nice and easy to handle it like that. The wire, again, is a 12 gauge 3-wire marine wire from Amazon. About $60 for, I don't know, 40-foot spool of that wire, but you have to use it if you want that wire to last at all. It's flexible, it's rated against UV, so it's going to last just fine. So on one hand, you have this plug that goes into the MinnKota connector, MinnKota plug. It goes into the control box. Inside there's a rotary switch that controls the direction and the speed of the motor. Watersnake is capable of 2 speeds forward and 2 speeds backwards, but in reality, when you go in back, in reverse, you only use a single speed. It moves the boat very nicely, and with this type of battery, 40 amp hour, you can probably get maybe 3 hours of running time on full speed. This motor on quiet water, when moving in full power, will consume about 15 amps in steady rate. So 40 amp hour battery will give you about 3 hours of that running time, which is more than plenty for almost any kind of fishing expedition, and I fish almost exclusively in the ocean. The box that rotary switch is mounted in is also from Lowe's, Home Depot. It costs about $4. The wire is from Amazon. It's a 3 conductor 12 gauge tinned marine grade wire. The motor, the modification is pretty simple. You cut the shaft right over here. The control box that's over here, you just throw it out because the switches in there are more or less useless for the marine environment. They will rust out on you in no time flat. You drill a 1-inch hole through this 2x4s. You move the shaft through, mount some kind of a thing on top so the water doesn't get in. Seal the inside of the shaft with some caulking for extra measure, and that's it. Now you have a dirt cheap, very reliable, pretty powerful. This is 24 pounds of thrust on this motor, so it moves the boat very, very, very nicely. So there you guys have it. Watersnake ASP T24S. S is for salt. So the shaft is stainless and it's better protected against salt. The replacement props are also readily available on Amazon. They're about $8 per. There's your control box, little rotary connector that controls the direction, forward, reverse. Nothing really fancy here. The 12 amp hour lithium iron battery, 40 amp, on Amazon, $140. They're selling them right now. I highly suggest you buy it. It'll last forever, about 5,000 charge cycles. It has a built-in control board that makes sure that this battery is not overcharged, undercharged. It does not draw too much of a current. There is an LED that flashes. You can probably see it right there. There you go. That kind of indicates the state of the battery. For a few more dollars, you can also buy the entire set of battery together with the charger. In the charger, all you need is to use 2 wires, so you can see right there. Now, here's a little gizmo that they sell on Amazon. It's called watt meter. You can see it right there. So what this guy does, it plugs in between your battery and your motor, and it shows you how much power you have consumed, and therefore you can infer how much power is left. It shows you the voltage, the amps. Incredibly handy. I also use this thing to connect when I'm charging. When I'm charging my battery. So this will show you how many amp hours go into the battery from the charger. This way you can say, okay, if I went fishing and I spent 20 amp hours and I came back and I recharged it, then about 20 amp hours should go right back into the battery. So very handy. When you connect the charger to the battery, like I said, battery has a control board that's extremely smart. and the charger has plenty of brains on its own, so it makes sure that the battery is charged just to the right charge. It's never overcharged. It's completely safe. The battery was used on a medical cart that dispenses medical medication to the hospital patients, so this one is built to extremely high standards. And like I said, it's now available for pennies on the dollar on eBay. You can readily buy it, and I suggest you do that. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, the key is to use proper gauge wire. Make sure it's marine grade, meaning that the conductor is tinned. Make sure that you use MinnKota rotary switch to control the motor, because it's completely sealed and it's rated for high amperage. Make sure you use MinnKota connector set, again $30 on Amazon, because that's about the only one that will last any amount of time in saltwater setting. And that's pretty much it. There you guys have it. As an extra bonus, you can also acquire a 12-volt pump at probably $20 on Amazon that you can install. This way, if you ever get too much water in your kayak, you can use that pump to expel it out. But that's probably just too crazy for most of us. Another thing you can connect to this battery is an LED strip. So some people run it under the boards, like right here in this vicinity. Those come also water proof, and that provides nice little accent / light if you fish in dark conditions. And that's pretty much it when it comes down to wiring, battery power, making your own trolling motor, hooking up your fish finder. In this particular case, we're talking about Hobby Pro Angler 14, so it's a pretty big boat, and it all fits together like a glove. When not in use, you can stow the entire trolling motor into the front bin, so it cannot even be seen. When on the water, the motor sits right inside of that cavity, the Mirage drive cavity, so it cannot be seen from outside. Lots of people will be asking you how the heck you're moving, because they cannot see any indication of trolling motor out there anywhere. So it's just a fun little element. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.